Hi, my name is Jenna DeAngeles. Welcome to my studio. There's something about an old bookstore. I don't know if it's the smell of the newsprint or the dust or the combination of the two, but it brings back memories of my childhood and all the beautiful books that my grandmother had in her home. And it makes me want to be really creative. I was at the bookstore in Los Angeles last week and I found this fabulous old, look at this book. It even has like cigarette burns in the cover. It's a beautiful old repertoire of piano recitals, some pieces probably by various artists. What we're going to do is we're going to reuse this old music book. It's so much better than having it end up in a landfill somewhere. What I'd like to do is take some of these old pages, print a beautiful design on them, and create for you a wreath that you can use for any season, any celebration, a wedding, a shower, a birthday, even for Christmas. So welcome to my studio, and today we're going to make a really lovely vintage wreath from an old antique book. Here's the creative part. I wanted to draw something like an insignia that you could print onto this old book so that as each piece of the wreath goes around in a circle, you've got this really cool repeat pattern that gives it a sense of symmetry. So I took out my favorite pen and I drew this kind of starfish with a decorative embellishment around it that you can download and print for free onto each one of your papers when you cut them down to 8.5 by 11 size, and it'll be ready for the next step. In order to get the art for this download, simply go to jennadeangeles.com and everything you need will be right there. Now that the art is all ready for you to go print onto your paper, all you need to really do is to prep your book. What you're probably going to do is buy a book that's bigger than 8.5 by 11. So what I recommend you do is to take the pages and take a normal 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and this is actually what it's going to look like when you get done printing it. So just as a template, take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and lay it in the corner of the book. Take an X-Acto knife and run it along a ruler. And then do it at the bottom as well. And that way you've cut one sheet. Now don't kill me, you're gonna have to do this about 180 times. So this project, it's labor intensive, but it turns out beautiful. All it requires is probably chocolate covered espresso beans. Once you've got a nice thick stack of these papers cut, we're going to go into my office. I'm going to show you how to print them right out of your computer onto the paper, and then we'll take the next step. While you're printing 180 of those pieces of paper, you can start to make the backing for the wreath. You're going to need a piece of foam core 12 inches by 14 inches. Remember that anytime you're cutting on foam core or cardboard or anything heavy, your first line should be a really, really easy score. You just let the knife do the cutting, not you. So what you're creating is a little bit of a trench for the blade to go through. So you just let it run all the way down. If you push too hard, it goes off to the side and you get a really bad line. So you always just let the blade do the cutting. You go 12 inches by 14 inches. First cut's the easy one, and then your second one cuts it off. you have your backing. In order to create a guide for where you're going to put all the cones, you're going to need a 10-inch circle and a 6-inch circle. Perfect size for 2 dinner plates. So first of all, take one of your large dinner plates and put it to the bottom of the foam core and draw a circle around it. Remove the plate and put a smaller plate in the center as well and draw a circle around that. Now that you've printed 188 of these, or 180 or whatever you've gotten, it's time to roll them all. So if you have a large family, elicit the help of the entire family to help you with this. Small children are best. Unless you have an army or a back room full of Oompa Loompas, this is a lot of work. So diet sodas with lots of caffeine or chocolate-covered espresso beans. The next step is to roll the cone. Create a small divot in the opposite corner of the insignia with your fingernail, and you're going to use that as a guide to help roll it. Just basically roll the cone up so it looks like an ice cream cone. You're going to take a piece of tape and you're going to put one here to hold it together. Take your very cool new stapler, which I don't quite know how to use yet, and you pinch the bottom of the cone, and about an inch up from the bottom, from the tip, put a staple. If you want to, just for security reasons, put a second staple at the very top so it doesn't ever come apart. You've got your cone made. The next step is to pull up a chair, sip your favorite beverage. Be patient, it takes a long time. We're gonna make a whole bunch of these. Now that you survived making all those cones, the reward is getting to place them all on the template. So starting at 12 o'clock, place another one at 6, 3, and 9. So those are your anchor places to start filling in all the gaps. Here we go. Use your glue gun and place a dot right at 12 o'clock and put your first cone. Then I go straight down to 6 o'clock, 3, and 9 for proper placement. Don't burn yourself. See, this is the fun part. I told you it'd get fun. Oh, and don't get it on your fingernail polish, because it'll remove your nice new manicure too. Now, if your glue gun makes little hairs like that one does, best way to get rid of them is not to chase after them and pull them all off. Just to take a hairdryer and turn it on hot and just blow it, and all those little glue hairs go away. Things you need to know in a thunderstorm. People have sent me pictures from making this wreath from all over the world. The Ukraine, Korea, even a school in Korea. The teacher had all the kids make a paper wreath and they put them all over the chalkboard at school for parents' night. If you make one of these, take a shot of it and stick it on my Pinterest wall. I'd love to see it. Maybe you'll come up with a different way or a different style of doing it. All right, that's your first row. We're going to put a second one, and here we go. getting to payoff here, folks. After toiling and making all of those cones, when you start to see it come together and make a really beautiful, beautiful decorative piece, you think, ah, it's worth it. That crazy woman, she told me to make all these cones and now it's starting to look cool. I get it, I get it. Woo! Now, some people at this point will just stop and they'll put like shells or ornaments in the center. I am going to put yet one more row in the middle because I made some shorter ones and I just think they'll be the perfect accent before we put the shells on. But it's completely up to you. If you want to just do 2 full rows, do it. But if you want to make yet a 3rd row, go for it. It'll only take about 12 to 18 more cones. I love the instant gratification of this project. Sort of like laying sod. Before you know it, you just got a gorgeous green backyard. Putting all these cones together just creates this amazing effect in a very short period of time. Look at the patina of this old printed paper with musical notes on it. It creates such a rich texture, aged color, sort of like tea-washed paper that you just cannot find anywhere else. So don't throw away those old books. If you find one in the bookstore that's got a good old soul to it, you can make a really cool project out of it. After you have put all the cones in those beautiful circles and created this lush pattern, you need to put something in the middle of it that's going to draw the eye to the center. Now, I took my old shell collection and I thought if we placed just a clump of these gorgeous old shells right in the center, it would create just a little bit of texture and not much color. Keep it simple. Don't go overboard, but just to create a collection in the middle. Let's give it a try. I think these shells are going to look really great. If shells aren't your thing, you could put anything in there from Christmas ornaments to, I don't know, old pennies or a picture of someone that you're going to give it to. Maybe a vacation, a photo from a vacation you went on. Be creative when you're thinking about other things to put in the center. How about flowers? How about dried herbs of some sort? How about Christmas ornaments? Maybe family pieces that are interesting to you that your family has maybe even collected shells or wooden spools or anything from around the world on travels. Just put in there whatever is going to create some memories. Because you don't want to make this just because the way it looks. But if these are old shells that you've collected around the world, then put them in the middle because you're going to keep it for a long time. And every time you walk by it, it'll bring back memories of good times. The time that I most want to be creative is when I'm feeling overworked and stressed and I just want to escape, like don't send a search party, escape. So if I come out to my studio and I'll just take an hour or two to paint something or to create something, I can have such an attitude adjustment in a pretty short period of time. All right, dear friends, it's finished. All we're going to do now is put the clip on the back with a piece of string and hang it on the wall and see how it looks. The best way to hang this on the wall is to take a bindery clip and run a ribbon through one of the holes on the clip and create a looped ribbon through it. Then you're just going to clamp this bindery clip onto the foam core, tie another knot here at whatever height you want to hang it, and it's ready to go. Take the clip that you just made, put it in the center of the foam core, and you're ready to hang it. You know, if today were the perfect day to make something special, and if you really wanted to make a masterpiece, this is it. Enjoy the antique paper wreath that we've made from a good old music book. Come back to my studio often for more projects and ideas on how to make your life not only meaningful, but beautiful as well. My name is Jenna DeAngeles. Thanks for stopping by.
What's your green wish? Find out more at greenwish.com.